I'm Roszkowski, and I have an art practice that spans lots of different media. You can see some painting behind me, textiles, ceramics, photography, collage, mixed media. But yeah, I was really got into the photography earlier this year. So I've got to say that seeing the prompts from Noir Darkroom on Instagram early in the year when we just gone into lockdown just felt like a really generous gesture to the community who was no longer able to sort of see each other or interact or whatever. It really drew me in, and I'm not sure exactly why. I can reflect back on it, but at the time I wasn't particularly engaged in my painting or any other. I sort of felt a bit like my short attention span wasn't allowing me to do some of those things that need a bit more attention. So when I saw the prompts and it was a quick and easy thing to do, I loved it. So it kind of got my attention out of myself, got me going outside, looking at things, with a different eye. And I've got to say, photography was my first love, but I hadn't sort of touched it for a while. So it was really nice to kind of be back to those roots. Yeah, so I think, as I said, my attention was really scatty. And I think the photography just felt like more of an immediate thing. I didn't have to set up. I mean, there's 4 of us in this household at the moment, and we're all trying to share space and be mindful of someone if they're having a business meeting or whatever. So to try and set up somewhere, we had a jigsaw puzzle on the kitchen table for, a month. And so where would we eat, So trying to set up a big arts practice anywhere was hard. So being able to take my phone outside and just take a photo of something, it was just a short engagement, but it was really, really good. And I guess as we've sort of gotten used to being in lockdown, I've started doing other things, but it's been a long haul to sort of get there, I think. Yeah, there was a bit of, as I said, just photographing what was close by. A friend, a colleague last year gave me all those bones from her farm, and they'd been sitting there, and I think when repetition came up as a prompt, I was just drawn to the sort of repetition of the teeth along the jawbone. And then I think the next one was still life in white. And so you'd given a prompt as white, and so I got all these shells and sort of sea creatures, but they're all very bleached and white. And another photo I'd taken was of that advertising sign where it's all just shredded and bleached. And so when I looked at the 3 of them, I thought, oh, that's a nice sort of series in that all the colours out of them. And looking back on that now, I think, well, that was kind of what was happening to us, is that kind of all the colour had gone, all our freedoms were gone. We were very limited in what we were doing and how we were existing. So it was just a matter, I guess, of looking at those and looking like they belong together, giving them the title, I think, Still Life Without Colour, Repetition, White and Upside Down. And look, the upside down one, it's, you can look at it from kind of all these different angles and see these different things. And I guess, I felt like my life was a bit upside down, but I was getting used to it somehow. But, like the benefit of having the colour out of it is that you tend to then focus on the texture or the contrast, like that's a kind of a photographer's dream. Yeah, look, I guess that's interesting in that, so I qualified as an art therapist at the end of last year, and I think I've been spending more time this second lockdown, actually trying to build that practice. So it takes me away a little bit from my art. I have been doing more collage, just because it's a quick, easy, and immediate sort of response to something. Yeah, so I've been doing a bit more textiles because it's easier to sit in the evening and stitch or whatever. Yeah, so a bit of a mixed bag, I guess, this second lockdown. And the energy is different as well. you know, it's a bit still like a roller coaster, because you have your days where you get heaps done, and then the next day I sort of crash and burn and don't do very much. And so and there's a bit more acceptance, like, oh well, this is the way it is, and so just go with it, go with the flow. You know, what inspired me to join the actual exhibition, and I'm not sure I answered that with what I said, because it was more about the prompts, but it was like that that series of photographs. Then, you know, it was nice to be able to show them, or show the best of them anyway. And you guys offering to do that was such a lovely invitation then. And I think everybody's looking to show what they've been doing during this time, and how do you do that. So it was nice to be offered. And it was funny because I wanted to drive to Coburg that day, but I think I'm not sure if we changed the Ks or whatever just then, but you know, I got a courier to go, so I've never done that before, but it felt good. Here, deliver this.